So you're thinking about moving to Richmond, Virginia. In this video, we're going to ask a tough question. Is it really safe to live here? My goal is to uncover the truth about safety in Richmond and give you everything you need to know before planning your move. And we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below and tap that notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott Dernley with Joyner Fine Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking for help making the move to the Greater Richmond area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is described in the link below so we can help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. So in this video, we're going to look at crime and safety on 3 levels. We're going to start super high at that bird's eye level view with some general questions on safety. Then we're going to drop down a bit closer to earth and look at the city of Richmond and talk about some important facts and misconceptions. And then finally, we're going to finish all the way on that ground level and look at specific crime stats in specific neighborhoods. Now, so let's start at that super high level bird's eye view. So how do we think about safety? Crime is really a simple equation. More people plus more poverty equals more crime. Violent crime in big cities can be more than double that of small cities. The stats that you're going to find online will usually distinguish between violent crime, things like murder and assault, versus property crime, which is like robbery and car theft. All right, so the feeling of safety is very subjective. Some people feel safe out in the woods, or some people feel safe on the water in a boat, but other people are very frightened of these spaces. Some people feel safe in a big city, but if you grew up in the country, the big city may feel overwhelming and unsafe to you. Now, relying solely on per capita crime rates can be very misleading. You really have to dig into the data to see the picture clearly. For an area like Metro Richmond, crime stats can vary widely from neighborhood to neighborhood. Now, crime is not uniform. Heavily populated urban areas with lower income typically report more crime, whereas rural suburban areas with higher income typically report less crime. Of all the surrounding counties in Richmond, which we have Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, they all have their own crime statistics. Now, to understand safety here in Richmond, you really have to understand the big picture. But let's drop down to that next level and talk about some facts and misconceptions about safety here in Richmond. You may be wondering how Richmond compares to other cities around the U.S. in terms of safety. Have you seen the most recent list of the top dangerous cities in the U.S.? I am glad to say Richmond did not make that list of the top 10, but here they are. Starting with the worst, we have Detroit, Michigan. That shouldn't be a big shocker. That's followed in order by Memphis, Birmingham, Baltimore, St. Louis, Kansas City, Cleveland, Little Rock, Milwaukee, and then Stockton, California. So I have created a very handy relocation guide that can save you hours of time and effort, and you can link to that right below. It's a must download, and I think you'll get some great information out of it. So what are some common misconceptions about crime here in Richmond? If you Google it, you're probably going to find that crime here in Richmond is higher than the U.S. average. Most of the U.S. population lives in rural areas, and the crime rate in these areas tends to be less than urban city areas. So I think it's important to compare Richmond to cities of a similar size. Charleston, South Carolina does have a crime rate that's reported at 34% lower than Richmond, but Orlando, Florida reports a crime rate that's 41% higher. Now, does that keep your families or your family from taking your young kids to Disney? I don't think so. It happens every day. Crime rates you will find online might seem like they apply to the entire Richmond area, but that's not true. Crime tends to be concentrated in specific areas and specific neighborhoods. In urban area, violence can be hyper-localized even from street to street. It's helpful to see how the safety landscape in Richmond has changed over the past few years. Violent crime is actually down 7% from where it was last year. In fact, Richmond is enjoying its lowest levels of violent crime in the last 7 years. There has been a slight bump in property crime through the first half of this year. To combat this, the Richmond PD has put into effect several initiatives. Operation Safe Summer put an 11 o'clock curfew on teens in the city during the summer months. Additional police resources have been deployed to 21 hotspots around the city. They have also started community walks where officers are engaging with community members, listening to them, and learning from their experiences. The Richmond Police Department also offers free gun safes and steering wheel locks. They've employed speed camera to enforce speed limits near schools, where they have been giving out hundreds of tickets a day in an effort to get folks to slow down in these critical areas. So the RPD has a lot going on. All right, let's come down to this final ground level. Where are the safest neighborhoods in Richmond? Unfortunately, fair housing laws prevent me from telling you or telling my clients what I consider a safe neighborhood. It's just too subjective and there's too much personal bias involved. My safe may be considered another person's scary. What I can do, though, is offer you some of the best practices that I share with all of my clients. If you are considering a certain neighborhood, go spend time there at all times during the day, morning, afternoon, and evening. What do you see? What do you hear? Do you feel safe? Go out and talk to the neighbors. You'd be shocked at how much people will tell you that live in the communities. There's also some great online resources that can help you research areas and neighborhoods. Neighborhood Scout is one website that I find very helpful. The Richmond Police Department website also has a great section called the Crime Incident Information Center. Now let's go hop onto my computer. We're going to take a look at a couple of these resources. All right, we have jumped on my computer and we are now on the first website that I referred to, which is called Neighborhood Scout. So you can see here in Neighborhood Scout, they have great information about all sorts of things that you can get reports on. You can go schools, there's crime, which is what we're mainly talking about today. So I'm going to switch back to crime. You can get reports on economics and demographics. You can get reports on real estate. I'm not sure you'd really want to do that here because you have your trusted agent to do that. But we're concentrating on crime today. So let's look at this crime. So one thing that's kind of neat is as you look at the different areas, it'll tell you the safest neighborhoods over on the right. Like it should be no surprise that Windsor Farms is one of the safest neighborhoods in the city of Richmond. So as you kind of come into these little areas, you can see it's really broken down in the little micro neighborhoods. So you would just, knowing the house, where you're looking for your specific house, like let's say you're looking in Westover Hills, you can drill down here to Westover Hills. It is going to show you exactly where that is. And then you can essentially buy a report that they're going to give you. Now, it kind of stinks that you have to buy this report, but a one-time report is $30. The home that you are purchasing is probably one of your largest investments. So, you know, a $30 report, if you're super interested in that, you know, you can kind of expand your areas here, kind of move around this map and then get reports on crime, which is kind of cool. Now we're over here in the Forest Hill area. Now you can also on this map on Neighborhood Scout move around. Let's say you want to look in Henrico County. You just click over to Henrico. Now we'll switch back to crime. Again, safest neighborhoods in Henrico, not a shocker. Barrington, Moreland Farms, the park at Mannequin Woods. I mean, these are all western Henrico. So again, here you can come over to Henrico and then start drilling down on once you're going to know the address of the home you're looking for. And you drill down into these various areas on the map and you can buy the report. But I love this little right over here. It kind of gives you their top 10, which is cool. Again, if you're looking at Midlothian, just click over to Midlothian. Let's click back on crime. All right, our top 10 safest neighborhoods in Midlothian: Salisbury, Tarrington. I live in Founders Bridge, so I'm happy to see that made the top 6. Or is number 6 in the top 10. Again, this is a very helpful resource. The reports through this website are $30. But again, it's the biggest investment of your life. So if you're worried about crime, $30 is not much to spend. But now there are free resources out there. So I mentioned the city of Richmond had one. It's kind of tricky to find, so I'm going to walk you through how we find it. So if you go to Google and just Google the city of Richmond, the rva.gov comes up first. So click on that. Then here in the search bar, we are going to search on crime incident information. Click on this top one that comes up here, crime incident information. Now we are on this page, and you have to agree to that you've read and understand the things above. So once you agree to that, here's where you get the good stuff. All right, we're going to look at neighborhood by neighborhood. So it's going to give you crime incidents for the last 30 days. Let's say we're looking in Bellevue. This is a very nice area of the north side. Got some beautiful houses in Bellevue. So click Bellevue and then click Get Information. And we're going to see, wow, Bellevue's pretty good. We've had 3 thefts and 7 others for a total of 10 incidents. So you can hit here on details. And that's going to give you where the incidents were, the street, and what they were. Found property, that doesn't seem like a huge deal. Theft from a motor vehicle, ATM fraud, theft from a motor vehicle, suspicious situation, shoplifting. Okay, so that gives you kind of pretty detailed information on what's going on there. So let's go look in, let's see museums, get information. Okay, 1 burglary, 2 thefts, 1 vehicle theft, and 6 others. So 10 incidents, and let's go ahead and drill down on that. All right, it's showing you where they were and what they were. So pretty good information there. And last but not least, when we were over here on Neighborhood Scout, we saw that Windsor Farms was the safest neighborhood in all of Richmond. So let's just take a peek at Windsor Farms. These are some of the most beautiful homes in Richmond. Windsor Farms is old Richmond money. Okay, we had 1 incident, and it's an other. So let's see what in the world happened in Windsor Farms. Okay, suspicious situation person. So someone sketchy must have looked like they were kind of roaming around the neighborhood. So this is a great way, once you identify the neighborhood that your house is in, to go through all of these lists of various neighborhoods, and you can check out what's been happening in the last 30 days. So this is just the example of the city of Richmond. Again, like for Henrico County, they have a resource like this. Chesterfield has one. I'm not going to go through today to every county website, but it does take a little bit of hunting and pecking when you get to that main level of the county website in order to find this crime information. It took me about 5 minutes to find it the very first time on the Richmond website. But usually they have a nice little search bar there at the top right when you get to a county website, and you can put in like crime information and then drill down and find an area similar to this. It'll look a little bit different, but you can find that kind of info. So that's it. This is how you can actually do your own research. Again, I can't tell you because of those fair housing laws where is safe and where is not, but I can tell you how to find the information on your own. As they say, I can be the source of the source. So here's some ways you can do this investigation on your own. All right, let's jump off my computer and wrap this thing up. Well, that's it for our discussion on crime in the Metro Richmond area. Here's the bottom line. There's crime no matter where you live, whether that's in the city or the country. Now, there's definitely a little more crime in the city, especially in lower income areas, but no places are 100% immune. Safety matters, but nobody has found a way to make life 100% completely safe. So here's my advice. As you're doing your research, ask the hard questions, research the stats, spend time in the communities that you're considering, talk to those neighbors. At the end of the day, when you find a place that's right for you, don't hesitate. Make that move in, and make your community even better than it was when you got there. Again, my name is Scott Durnley with Joyner Fine Properties, and I have helped countless folks move to the Richmond area in my 20+ years of real estate, and I'd love to work with you as well. So remember, whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All that information is linked right below in the description. And until next time, I hope to show you around town. Take care, folks.